Hello everyone, welcome back to Crystal Point. My name is Lyndon and today we're going to bring you another duel series video. Today we've got two players. We've got Alec on the right who is just taking his first turn and he's currently running a water ice control type deck. And on the left hand side we have Liam running a water earth midrange. Now both of these players are my very good friends, so I shouldn't rip on them too hard because they will absolutely destroy me when I see them next. So I'm going to be a little bit gentle with all the plays. So, in turn 1, Alec has played an Astrologian by discarding a Geomancer, a very good turn 1 play. And it's now Liam's turn, and he has played a Jesse, and he gets to search for a Category 7 forward. Now, I do know he runs the Legendary Vincent, Legendary Cloud, as he has just selected, so either of those would have been a fantastic pick. It's very scary on the first turn if you want to see a Cloud on play. Particularly for Alec, because unless he wants to bounce it with a Leviathan, there isn't very much he can actually do against that Cloud for the first turn. So he's going to discard a Cloud Darkness and a Moogle for that Cloud. So yeah, turn 1, he's got an Earth backup out, searched for a Cloud and played the Cloud on turn 1. A very strong opener indeed. Now passing back to Alec, what is he going to do now? As I said before, there isn't very much he can do against that Cloud this turn, except for maybe punish him slightly by returning it to hand. But it only saves 1 damage, so Alec might want to decide to go onto the more of the economy play. Maybe just play a backup and pass and just accept that he's going to take 1 damage this early on. He is the control player out of the two, so taking damage this early on is not really... it's not exactly strange ground for the control player. So discard Laguna to play a Summoner. A very strong card indeed, especially this early on. Summoner is just an Opus 1 backup where if you pay 1 ice and put him into the break zone, you can choose a summon and cancel its effect. A very strong effect, and it becomes relevant immediately because he could just discard an ice card at any point and cancel any of Liam's summons here. So it might not be relevant right now, but as the game goes on, there could be a Golem or a Leviathan, anything like that. It could really mess Liam up. So Cloud goes in for a swing, hits the Cloud of Darkness. That must have hurt. Could prove very useful. Where against Legend Vincent, there isn't very ways to beat it. All that really can do against forwards such as Cloud and Vincent is pretty much freeze them or return to hand. So if he wants to destroy them, he's going to have to use Cloud of Darknesses or just straight up beat them in combat. As we can see in Liam's hand, on the left hand side there, he's got an Ash and then a Cross. Both really good options, particularly against Alec here. Because even if Alec was to freeze an Ash, Liam could just use the activating ability on Ash and pretty much just nullify any freeze effects. And across is also a very good play because that would also push up Vincent's to 9,000, 10,000. Very strong forwards, and then Liam could just basically just bulldoze Alec into submission. Oh, he's going to discard a Leviathan and play a Scholar. That could be very relevant, particularly against Cloud or Vincent. Water often has some very high class forwards that they want to protect, and Scar is a very good way to do so. At the same time, while nullifying any particular summon or ability such as Omnislash. Cloud goes in for a quick swing after playing Vincent. Yep, and there's a Mateus. Pays the 5. He does lose a Jill off that, but getting rid of Cloud while I'm taking 1 damage is a pretty good spot to be in. So now Liam's only stuck with a Vincent that he does have to pay 2 to attack with or block with. So if he's not careful, it can really drain on his resources to get very little value out of it. I'm not sure whether Alec would just go full on economy here. He does already have an advantage in the backup department, and if Liam wants to deal no damage, he has to lose a card in effect because he does not have 2 backups already out to pay the cost. So, oh, there goes the Mateus. Oh, and Ultimecia. A very, very strong play. Ultimecia is quite a popular water card for most people. All the forwards other than Ultimecia does enter the field duel, so that does actually include Alex's own guys. But when Alec is running so many freeze effects, he does get the upper hand on most occasions with this. As you already saw with Alec, he had discarded a Jill earlier, but it does mean there's probably 2 more in the deck. Oh, and Liam just plays a Seraphy there, so each player gets to bring back 1 forward back from the break zone into the hand. Liam picks a Light Cloud, pretty much the obvious choice. And Alec gets the Laguna, I believe? Yep, the Laguna. I think that might have been his only choice. Oh, there goes the Ash. And a Cloud's played. Yep, and Liam realising that Seraphy and Cloud both just come in dull thanks to Ultimecia. Now it does have a little 1-turn window to maybe bounce Cloud, or freeze them both with a Jill if he's got them. Oh, it's a Cloud of Darkness. 1 in the damage zone already, so that's 2 Cloud of Darkness already gone. Yep, and Liam picks the Light Cloud to keep. Probably the best move, so Ominous Slash is still available against Ultimecia. Now Ali does still have the Summoner out. And it's the Omni Slash. Very, very bad. Ultimecia goes down, and Cloud, because he had Brave, was in the middle of attacking, so the damage does go through. And if I was in Alec's position, then I probably would have tapped my CPs a bit different to keep Scholar up instead of Summoner. Summoner does not require him to be active to be able to activate his effect, whereas Scholar does. So he may have been able to save Ultimecia at the very least, even if Cloud does still go in for the damage. Oh, it's an Emperor. And this time leaving the Scholar up to save the Emperor if required. So Alec probably just thinking maybe it wasn't really that bothered if Ultimecia did go down, because now Cloud is only an 8k with Brave. Alec is complaining in the background that he is running low on forwards. Oh, yep, Cloud goes in for a swing and a semblance is revealed. No EX burst yet. It's pretty unfortunate. And there's the Anacross. Setting up for Vincent's later in the game, while Cloud is still quite happily swinging away at Alec. Doing quite a bit of work, even without his special abilities. And we're playing for a 5-coster. Oh, it's a Yuna, and that's punishment. And a Guy, wow! Alec must have been very, very happy to see that go. I know he runs a lot of freeze in that Water Ice deck of his, and that Guy would have been absolutely disastrous. And we see a Moogle go down for Alec. And yep, replaying a Vincent. And just passes the turn. Not much else he can do except just keep playing strong forwards and just wait for them to smash face. Now, it needs to be noted that the Dark Emperor that Alec is controlling, it does not affect Vincent's auto ability, nor does it affect Anacross, so his effect isn't actually doing a lot right now. But it will affect Cloud and Whacker if Liam plays Whacker later in the game if it's still around. So while it's not getting much use out of its effect right now, it can later in the game, so it could be one of the priority creatures he'd like to keep up. If you enjoyed this video guys, please also leave a like and a comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and leave some feedback for me. And Alec just passes the turn. It's pretty much typical of a control player, just passing and seeing what happens and then just reacting to it. Of course, Alec cannot attack into that Vincent with the Emperor because the Emperor will simply die to that 10k, and all Liam would have to do would be discard a card to pay the cost. And there goes a Roban and 2 Earth backups. Oh, it's a Roban. There goes the Emperor. And that is why a lot of people are playing Earth right now. It's for that specific card, as well as the Legend Vincent. Those two combined are just very, very strong, and it gets around, I think, cards just like the Emperor, where the Dark Emperor would have normally shut him down. Ah, and there goes an Ash. Okay, that's not good. Ash could have been an attacker and a pseudo blocker. So Alec is slowly getting ground down in terms of damage. And I'm not sure if the Scholar was actually active that last turn, so he might have been able to save the Emperor. I'm not quite sure about that. So okay, we see a Fairy go down, and paying 3 more. Oh yep, play another Ultimecia. Very, very good. So it's still worthy of note that that summoner is still available, so if Liam would like to Leviathan, it could be countered. It still requires Alec to have an ice card in hand, but it is very likely he does. There's an Enna. Yep, for a Light Cloud. After that Roban, it's pretty much just going to be value town for Liam. Just other than paying the 2 to attack with Vincent, he's just going to be swinging all day, and Alec really has to find an answer here. Now that Light Cloud should come in dull actually because of that Ultimecia. And Alec is just pointing out, yep, it should have been dulled, and there we go, they caught it. So yeah, that board state's quite scary on Liam's side in particular. Not impossible to beat though if Alec times his cards right. And maybe coax Liam into an attack that he will actually regret later on. A 10k blocker that only needs 2 cost to block with stops Ultimecia, stops any kind of retaliation. Oh, we do see a Time Mage. Choose 1 forward, it loses haste and first strike till the end of turn. It's a dull ability. So it's not very useful in this match because I do not believe Liam is actually running any haste or first strike creatures. I say creatures, I should be saying forwards, my apologies. I used to be a Magic the Gathering player, so I'm used to saying creatures instead of forwards. So yeah, not a very great backup in this particular matchup. However, it does allow Alec to use his Summoner effect without actually discarding a card. And that Scholar is still up and ready to protect. We see a Mateus in Alec's hand, ready in case Liam would like to attack. Ooh, and another Omni Slash, and Alec just takes it. Yep, and Cloud was doing that after an attack, and Laguna is an EX burst. Will dull the Vincent, so it does stop 1 point of damage. If I see a guy in Liam's hand, I would probably play it now. I would have probably just, if I was Liam, I'd probably just want to pile on the pressure and just, we've already seen 2 Cloud of Darknesses. He's not running any Earth, so he cannot use a Shantotto. Probably good just to play the guy now, even if you have to lose 2 cards in hand, and then just pressure for the win at this point. Now, I do know that Alec does have a Jillibar in hand at the moment, and he would really love to play it. But there is no real way to, because all his backups are completely full, which is very unfortunate. He does still have a 8-cost Sephiroth in hand, but if he does play it, he would only want to kill the Enacross, because if he does kill any of the others, not only will he not gain really any value out of it other than just Liam losing 1 CP a turn, he could replay the Roban or the Jessie for value. And there's the Sephiroth. Yep, Enacro. Now that Sephiroth is a good little wall against that Cloud at the moment, and that Vincent, while it can still punch through technically, still requires 2 to do so. And may be punished with Leviathan. It pays for the cost, and Semblance. That could be very useful. If Liam had any way to deal with that Sephiroth right now, he could swing for the win. Alec is on 6 damage, it's going to be quite hard to come back. Not without playing extremely carefully. Oh, we see a whacker. That status reels is going to be a very, very scary thing on its own, let alone the power buff it can give either himself or to Cloud or Vincent. Still have the Summoner, still have an Astrologian if he wants to attack and then use the Astrologian to activate the Sephiroth. But it's not going to do him a lot in the long game at the moment. He really needs a way to deal with these forwards. So that he's... Oh, a third Cloud of Darkness has been seen this game, wow. Alec naturally picks the Sephiroth for the first strike. So that's 2 in the break zone, 1 in the damage zone. 2 little board wipes. It does not stop that Vincent though. Liam does have 2 backups, so every turn he can just keep swinging on the 6 damage. Alec has to block every single time. So at the moment, Vincent is just one hell of a beat stick. Does not even care about Sephiroth's first strike. See a Hecton Care? Maybe a good idea to use it, but... Oh no, that's definitely the better play. Leviathan goes in for the win. Just to be noted that Sephiroth should be back to hand and not on the in the break zone. And, and Alec is saved by his own Leviathan. 2 Leviathans in the same turn. Something you always have to be aware of if you're against a water deck. You always just have to assume one of your forwards will get bounced at some point. So Alec mistakenly has put the Sephiroth in the break zone. It may have been worth at least replaying the Sephiroth at this point just to kill the Jesse rather than the Roban. So we see a guy being thrown away for a Vincent again. I would probably just pick the guy at this point. The Vincent is strong, but while you have that Vincent out, you cannot play the Legend one if you happen to draw it, and Guy cannot be dulled. So it will not lose to any ice shenanigans such as Shivas and the like. And you don't require a cost to attack with him either. They're going to dull. So, for example, there, if it was a Guy instead, unfortunately Alec has no follow-up, but if he did, Liam would have been punished for playing the Vincent over the Guy. Guy is especially great against ice. We go with a Vincent attack. And he bounces the Scholar now. Liam feeling very comfortable, just keep swinging every turn, see if he can deal with it, and if he can't, then oh well. Now, of course, we do have to keep in mind Vincent's second ability, but when he attacks all blocks, he can choose a forward and deal it 4k. Particularly good against Hero Snow if it's played. Semblance does come in and freeze Vincent, which will give Alec a little bit of time. And he's retiring. Ooh, an Emperor, that is very, very strong. Seeing that Leviathan earlier in the game now, I am very surprised that Alec did not use it to try and save the Sephiroth from being bounced at that point though. If you invested that much CP, it may be worth losing the backup. And again, losing that time age, that damage could have been very useful at this point. Not a Whacker, oh god. Whacker's again ready, such a beast. Even if Whacker attacks, he can give himself 2000 power on the spot, or he can give Vincent it and make Vincent nearly unstoppable, really. And a Cosmos, just to be able to dull for any water mana. And as Liam is using Cloud, it makes sense using Cosmos, because if you used Chaos, then you could not use both. Alec goes in with the attack on the Emperor, and the Geomancer goes to the break zone. It's very harsh. Alec can always use Astrologian to make the Emperor active and block. But either way, it would still be a bad trade. The only good side for the Emperor is that he gets to replace himself. We've already seen the Opus 2 Emperor, so I doubt we'll see another one of those. And that's assuming, of course, that Liam doesn't have a status reels ready. Oh, and we do. Yep, he definitely does. I've just seen a glimpse of it. He does have a whacker in hand. And he can just tap the Cosmos to use it. And a roaster just for extra insurance, just in case he's targeted by any kind of summon. Doesn't go for an attack, interestingly. Probably just waiting for the next turn, or waiting for him to attack, because he's seen Alec attack the previous turn. He might do it again, and then kill Emperor on the block. And using status reels would prevent the Emperor's ability from actually triggering on the break zone. Scardium Inwo, Shiva on the Vincent. And here we see the status reels. Yeah, there's the status reels. And there's just no way coming back from that now. And Alec concedes. Wow, what a very strong performance. Water Earth demonstrating how good it is.